With anti-Semitism and attacks against Jews on the rise worldwide, Israel has appointed a special envoy to combat the scourge. Earlier, I spoke with Israeli-American actress and outspoken Israeli advocate Noa Tishby about her new job. Noa Tishby, welcome to Jerusalem Dateline. You're the new special envoy for the State of Israel, combating anti-Semitism and the delegitimization of the State of Israel. What was your reaction when you were chosen?
So my reaction was surprise and honor. I was sitting with the Foreign Minister Yair Lapid, and he offered me this position. Obviously, Israel never had a special envoy for combating anti-Semitism and delegitimization, so I was blown away and honored, and immediately turned to him and said, "What does this mean, though?" And he goes, "Well, it's the first one. Let's make this up together to do this job." And of course, my reaction immediately was, well, you're offering me a job that I'm going to fail at, because nobody can combat and defeat anti-Semitism. It's the oldest form of hate and discrimination that is still being practiced. However, and having said that, I'm very excited to receive this position and to actually get to work.
Yeah. Do you see anti-Semitism exploding or rising around the globe?
Absolutely. There's no question. And I think everybody is well aware of it. Over 1 billion people hold anti-Semitic views around the world. 50% of college kids in America are hiding their Jewish identity, and 65% of them say that they are afraid and don't feel safe. This is something that should worry all of us. So yeah, absolutely. Anti-Semitism is on the rise yet again.
You say that anti-Zionism and anti-Semitism are one and the same. Why do you say that?
Well, if you have an aversion to borders, okay, if you don't like the concept of a nation state and you would like to dismantle every single nation state in the world, then yeah, okay, you're not anti-Semitic. But if you have a particular obsession for one country and one country only, and you have a delegitimization concept towards that particular country, and you want to deny the Jewish people of their nation state and sovereignty in their ancestral land, there's a name for that, and that's anti-Semitism. So denying Israel's right to exist, denying the Jewish people sovereignty in their ancestral land is anti-Semitic, period.
Yeah. You grew up here in Israel, Noa, and now you're living in the U.S. How did both growing up here in Israel and living in the United States prepare you for this role?
What a great question. Thank you. I always say that I am 100% Israeli and 100% American. So to me, understanding both cultures in such I hope, a profound and deep way is allowing me to create this pipeline and this bridge between these two cultures. I understand the problems that Israelis have with Americans and the problems that Americans have with Israelis, and I am able to actually communicate to these two cultures in a way that I hope is effective.
And you wrote a book, Noa, I think is one of the best primers, actually, to introduce people to Israel. Is sort of the outline of what you may be planning, what you could read in this book?
Yes, and definitely in the context of explaining the justification and the moral justification, historical justification for the existence and the safety and security of the State of Israel, not as a Jewish issue and not as an Israeli issue, but as a U.S. and international national security and Western civilization security. So yeah, you can definitely find the buds of what I'm going to be doing in this position in my book. Yeah.
In your book, you talk a lot about the relationships, your mother, your father, your grandparents. How did your family prepare you for this role?
They did, unknowingly. I obviously grew up in a very Zionist family, surrounded by people who devoted their time and passion and life to the safety and security of the State of Israel. And it's something that as a young child or a younger adult, I didn't actually notice. What I wanted to do was be in entertainment, and I did that for many, many years. But underneath it, there was always this passion and this inability to be quiet when misunderstandings or falsehoods were being spoken next to me about Israel. So it was one of those things that I think I was being prepared for it for my entire life without ever knowing this. And I'm glad this is coming to fruition right now. I hope to be of service, and I hope to be helpful for the state of Israel, the Jewish people, and the world at large, hopefully.
Alpha,